Yo, what's up, guys? We're back, and this week it's UFC Utica. But first, I want to go back and talk a little bit about last week's event. And did great once again. We were won the most confident pick, won the parlay of the week. That's 4 weeks in a row that I gave you guys the parlay of the week and the most confident pick, both correct. So we've been doing really good lately, and hop on that train. I think that we're gonna keep going, so subscribe, keep watching, comment, everything, I really enjoy that. You guys are the reason why I do these videos, so thanks a lot for the support. But first off, for the first fight that I'm going to talk about, Elias Theodorou versus Trevor Smith, it was a decently entertaining fight. It was a better fight than most Elias fights. Elias Theodorou fights are usually very terrible, him throwing a lot of kicks, running away. But this time, he at least was more aggressive. He was getting in the clinch. He was landing some shots. It was, in my opinion, a clear victory for Elias Theodorou. I gave him all 3 rounds. You could give the second round to Trevor Smith, but, I thought he won the fight pretty easily, and, I don't think he really did anything to raise his profile. I still think he's kind of where he is. He called out Lyoto Machida. That's a fight I could see happen, but I don't think it would end favorably for Elias, most likely, unless he would be able to take him to the ground. But, I guess he has earned that right. He's ranked 14th. I think he has 3 or 4 straight victories. I think he has maybe won 4 out of his last 5, because I do remember he lost to Tavares pretty recently, but he's been on a decent run here, and maybe it's time for a step up of competition for him. And Jillian Robertson, I called this one for you guys. If anyone tailed me on it, I know one person did, and or Wayne Ruddick, but Jillian Robertson was able to get the submission in the first round, or in the second round. She really dominated that fight. She was able to take down the single leg in the first round, really dominate McCann. She seemed like McCann was just not very good off her back. And then round 2, she was able to lock in that rear naked choke, choked her out unconscious. It was really, really good performance by her, pretty nice. And then up next we had the newcomer Carlo Petersali Jr. against Brad Scott. And I know I picked Brad Scott, but like I said, I thought that Carlo was actually the better fighter. I was just a little bit nervous about him fighting on that war a month ago, but he was able to get in there, get the split decision. He got dropped in the first round, was able to come back, showed some pretty good kicks, and he's going to be an interesting guy. And up next, Lena Landsberg versus Gina Mazzani, and not much to say about this fight. Very boring fight. Most of it was played out in the clinch. Not a lot of significant strikes here. Not very high level, and Lena Landsberg was just able to control the position more in the clinch. She was able to land a few strikes from the outside, just be a little bit better than Mazzani. And Mazzani gassed out really badly. And both these girls, I don't know what their future is in this division, but I don't know, man. I don't think either of them have a very good trajectory. But up next, Tom Breeze against Daniel Kelly. And this was our most confident pick of the night. And Tom Breeze was able to take care of business very easily. He got that first round knockout, and really was just too fast for Dan Kelly. Dan Kelly wasn't able to get inside, was leaning forward, was kind of lunging, and Tom Breeze was working behind that jab, working behind that straight left, and just really being much faster, and caught him with a really nasty uppercut, and dropped him, finished him off with ground and pound, and very good performance by Tom Breeze. And he's a very interesting guy, man. Been away for a long time, but very good prospect. Still only 26 years old, and a lot of promise for him, I think, in the future. And for Dan Kelly, if that really was his last fight, got to commend the guy. He did a lot of things that probably not a lot of people would suspect him to do, being Antonio Carlos Jr., being an Olympian, a lot of great things in his career. So shout out to Dan Kelly for a great career. And up next, a fight that I was pretty surprised by. Darren Stewart against Eric Spicely. Eric Spicely did not come in with the game plan that I thought at all. He tried to clinch early. I think maybe he felt that Darren Stewart was pretty strong, and then just never really tried to get in that clinch again, never really tried to go for the takedown. And Darren Stewart was just able to keep his distance. He was much more calm in this fight. Was throwing jabs, throwing some good leg kicks, and was just piecing up Eric Spicely. And eventually, Spicely was able to land some shots. He was able to do some things, but he dropped him with a jab, and just ground and pounded him, took him, and finished him off. And terrible performance by Eric Spicely. For Darren Stewart, he did show some pretty good skill. Maybe he's able to bounce back and last in the UFC, but I don't know if he's ever going to be a high-level guy, But up next, we had Claudio Henrique da Silva against Nordine Taleb, and another fight that I was pretty surprised by. Nordine Taleb early was doing what I thought he was going to do, basically until he finished him off, man. He was dominating him, denying the takedown attempts easily, landing his leg kicks, landing hard right high kick that almost landed. He was really thundering in some body kicks, landing some nice shots. He was able to slam Silva, I think, a couple times, and just really dominating him, man. But eventually he tried to roll for a knee bar, which was just absolutely ridiculous. Stupid to do, man. Rolled for a knee bar, and Silva was able to land some hard punches to the face. Then he took full mount, took the back, and got that rear naked choke and made Taleb tap out. And just a very stupid thing of Taleb to do to attack the knee bar. I don't know why he did that. I know those guys at Zahabi's gym, Faraz Zahabi, are major leg lock guys, but to try to go in a leg lock, try to get a leg lock on a third degree level black belt like Claudio Henrique da Silva is just very, very terrible fight IQ, man, especially when you have such a distinct advantage on the feet. But for the next fight, we had Makwan Amirkhani against Jason Knight, and I'm not going to lie here, I thought Jason Knight took this fight. Even though Makwan Amirkhani was able to get takedowns, I thought that, Jason Knight was just the one that was attacking on the ground. He was the one that was, looking for arm bars, looking for triangles. He was having Amirkhani in the rubber guard, and Amirkhani was just doing nothing on the ground. He was just holding position. And in that first round, that was an amazing round. One of the rounds of the year, right? Knight came out. He was coming out really hot first. He was landing kicks, landing a hard jab. And Amirkhani landed that right hook. Tried to do a flying knee, and Knight looked like maybe he was on his way out. But and then he took him down, and Mr. Finlay got on top. And, he was able to get past that rubber guard, actually land some nice shots on top. And looked like he was going to have, a pretty easy night, but Knight was able to get back up. He dropped him with a big combination, had him bloodied, and, really was working on him. And it seemed like Amirkhani's striking was just really bad. And Amirkhani seemed to almost be out cold with that uppercut. But it seemed like he got woken up almost by Jason Knight trying to jump on him. I don't know. It really seemed like he was almost out, but he really was able to get the takedown whenever he wanted, and in that second and third round, was able to get it to the ground, and I could see why the judges would, pick him to win the fight. But my opinion, I don't really like it when the guy that's just taking the guy down, not doing much, wins the fight. Even though I thought that was going to be kind of what Makwan was going to do, I thought that he was going to be able to do a little bit better job of getting better positions, not always being on the defensive on the ground. But, Makwan got the victory here. Called out Cub Swanson. I don't know if that's a great fight for him. I think that's kind of a tough fight for him, but if he gets it, it would be a fun fight to watch. And for Jason Knight, I hope he gets another chance here in the UFC. That's 3 losses in a row, but always comes to fight is extremely fun to watch, and I wouldn't want him to get cut off the performance like that. But up next, you had a great fight with Arn Allen against Mads Burnell. And Mads Burnell looked great, man. Mads Burnell looked really good. That first round was a pretty close round. Both guys had their moments. Burnell was trying to land that jab, trying to use that James Toney type rolling with the punches to get inside, trying to shoulder roll, and he was landing some nice ducking overhand rights. He was closing the distance very well. Does a very good job of just having great positioning in the cage, always being in your face, and great job landing some shots, then changing levels, going for takedowns. Very good double legs. He actually, I think, is going to be very good, in my opinion. I really liked what I saw from Mads Burnell. And very good takedowns in that second round. He was able to dominate the round. Basically took Arnold Allen down at will in that fight. In that round, was able to take him down early in that second round. Was able to sit him up against the fence, control him against the fence, and just keep taking him down. And Arnold wasn't able to do much of anything. He was just kind of defending on the ground. And in that third round, once again, it looked like the same thing was going to happen. Burnell got him down within about 20 seconds. And, got him against that fence, was trying to get the double legs, was, taking him down. Allen was getting back up, looking like it was going to be the same thing, man. And then Arnold Allen set up a nice guillotine, really locked it up hard. And, Arnold Allen got him. He tapped him out with the guillotine, man, when he was definitely going to lose, man. Another time that he did that, and I called that shit, guys, for you guys. I hope someone told me on that. I said Arnold Allen by third round finish. I did say TKO, but happened to be a submission, and Arnold Allen kind of has a knack for that, late dramatics. He dropped and finished Yatsen Mesa right at the bell, even though that was a decision. He submitted Alan Omer, kind of like the same exact scenario where he's losing the fight and submits him in the third round. And, that's the second time that he's done that now. So Arnold Allen's always going to be extremely dangerous, guys. And, interesting guy. He's very athletic. But, like I said, I think Mads Burnell is also going to be very good. Those are two very good prospects. But up next, the co-main event, Neil Magny versus Craig White. Kind of what we expected. Neil Magny was just too much of a step up, too good for Craig White, and Craig White just has that come forward style. Like I said, now it's 21 out of 22 of his fights have been finishes, and he puts himself in position to finish or get finished, and Magny was just able to take advantage of his aggressiveness, get him to the ground, and once he got him to the ground, really that was a formality. He went straight into mount, and was just able to start landing some nice ground and pound. And, after a little bit, the ref just came in and waved it off because White was really getting beat up. But Neil Magny called out Kamaru Usman. And, I wouldn't mind seeing that fight. Neil Magny has I think I saw the third most wins in welterweight history. And just a workman, man. He's, 3 out of 4 once again after looking like maybe he was on his way down after getting KO'd by Lorenz Larkin, getting finished by Rafael dos Anjos. He stabilized himself, won 2 in a row. And see what happens with Neil Magny. We'll see if he can go on another run here. And then for the main event, one of the most looked forward to fights of the year, and I think it delivered for us hardcore fans. I think it was a tactical battle. I'm going to say, in my opinion, I thought Stephen Thompson won the fight. I thought he was able to, win the first 3 rounds. I thought he won the first 3 rounds, and fourth round was a close round. I think you could argue that he won that round as well. I think you could argue that round was a draw. Really nothing much happened in that round, but I think Thompson was I thought he was the guy that was able to, land the more effective shots, control the distance. But that 5th round, if you're going to look at what's the word I'm trying to think of? If you're going to look for a definitive blow, a definitive round, definitely was that round for Darren Till, where I thought that he won that round clearly. Round 5, he dropped Stephen Thompson, put a lot of pressure on him, really went for the finish because I think he knew that he was, behind on points. But when you're in Liverpool, man, it's a close fight. You can't blame anyone but yourself. You're Stephen Thompson. Gotta be more aggressive. Gotta make it more definitive. And Darren Till got the hometown decision, man. He won unanimous decision, and it's gonna put Darren Till in an interesting spot, because don't think that performance necessarily gets him a title shot. or moves him up quite like the UFC would have wanted him to, but it does put him in a very good position. I could see him matching him up with someone like Kamaru Usman, someone like George Masvidal. But, I don't think it warrants him coming up and fighting the Colby Covingtons, the Rafael dos Anjos, the Tyron Woodleys just yet. And for Stephen Thompson, he does still have a chance to come back in that division, in my opinion, just because he's that good. But would need, in my opinion, take a step back now, take a fun fight, maybe fight a guy like Robbie Lawler. That might be a fun striking fight. Maybe you could fight a guy like, I don't know, man, just a guy that's a little bit lower in the rankings, a fun fight, and, go out there, get some more confidence back, and then you come back and challenge for a bigger name. Because, Darren Till did miss weight. That does put a stain on his fight. Stephen Thompson could have easily said he didn't want to take the fight, but, he manned up, he took the fight, and you got to commend him for that. You got to give him all the utmost respect. And Darren Till, I think he had some family issues, so, don't blame him that much for missing weight. I think he'll make weight in the future, but we're going to move on here now to UFC Utica. And for the first fight of the night, it's going to be Jared Brooks against Jose Torres, in a very interesting fight, man, because, Jared Brooks used to be a very good prospect. He was actually the number one, I think it was strawweight, I'm not sure, but 115-pound fighter in the world. Came in the UFC undefeated, and in my opinion, he's still undefeated. He did take a loss to Deiveson Figueiredo, but I thought he won that fight, in my opinion. And he's going to be fighting, the guy, Jose Torres, who's extremely, highly touted. He's one of the highest touted prospects in MMA right now. And, Torres is going to be coming in on 10 days' notice, so that is something to take into account. But he's a 2-division champ at Titan. He's 7-0. Very seasoned. He was 25-1 as an amateur in MMA as well. So that's, 33 fights that he's had in his books. And he's won 32 fights in a row. He lost his very first amateur fight, and since then he hasn't taken a loss. He has very fast hands, very nice jab, straight right hand, nice left hook, has power on his shots, great accuracy with his right hand, nice overhand right. He'll go to the body and the head. He has nice leg kicks, great clinch game, never rests. He's always landing hard knees and elbows, always has forward pressure, just walking you down. He likes to walk through your shots unfazed. He wears you down by constantly making you fight backwards, staying in your face. He had a nasty right hook KO in his last fight. He's a good striker, but he's also a solid wrestler, good timing on his double legs. But he has questionable takedown defense, but he's great at scrambling, not accepting being on bottom, and it has been against bigger guys that he's been getting taken down at 135 pounds. He's opportunistic with the submission game. Nice rear naked choke against Galitzin de Jesus in their fight. He doesn't have the greatest defense on the feet. He likes to just shell up, not move his feet when he's hurt. Doesn't move his head at times, can get clipped with big shots. He's definitely been in wars in Titan FC. He's been dropped. He ate a lot of leg kicks in his fight against De Jesus. Doesn't check leg kicks much. Usually starts slow, and you could argue lost a few of his fights at Titan if they were only 3-round fights. But he starts to systematically break you down over 5 rounds. And definitely needs to start faster in this one. It's a 3-round fight. His cardio is usually phenomenal. Great chin as well. And he's going to be fighting another prospect in Jared Brooks. Brooks was undefeated, like I said, 13-0. Then had that extremely questionable decision loss. Now he's going to be fighting against Jose Torres, and he's an extremely fast flyweight. But he doesn't have good hands. He's really just a wrestler with good footwork, and just tries to throw leg kicks, throw head kicks, stay on the outside until he can time a shot. He has a great double leg, very fast on his double leg entries. He's a very fast flyweight. Good job of hanging on you, controlling you, not letting you get up. He'll look for chokes, especially guillotines. He's a pretty solid guillotine. He doesn't do a ton of damage on top, cares more about controlling position, looking for submissions. He doesn't throw much on the feet, almost purely a wrestler, like I said. He just uses that lateral movement. He has a good point fighting style. He doesn't put himself in a lot of danger on the feet. Can usually land his takedowns. He will land hard slams, just control, land small shots on the guard. And this is a closer fight than most people in the books will give it credit for, in my opinion. The lines aren't out yet, but I think Jared Brooks does have a chance to win a decision here with his wrestling. He could land takedowns at opportune times, not get hit much on the outside and just throw kicks. His hands are way worse than Torres, and I believe if he can't take Torres down, he's going to be in some serious trouble. And even though I said Jared Brooks does have a path to victory here, I'm still thinking Torres will get taken down, lose round 1, but I don't think he's going to absorb much damage. I think he's going to be able to come back, start to land some significant shots, and start to get up off his back, start to wear down Jared Brooks, who does tend to gas out a little bit. And think that eventually he might get the finish, but I'm going to say that he's going to get a decision victory here against Jared Brooks, where he just starts to wear him down and take over late like he does in most of his fights. And Jared Brooks is just a very small guy for 125, and think that he's going to struggle to hold down Torres for the whole fight. And up next we have Johnny Eduardo against Nathaniel Wood, and very interesting fight, good matchmaking here, because Johnny Eduardo is 39 years old. He has been fighting since 1996, but the one thing he has is Muay Thai, baby. He is a Muay Thai specialist. And Nathaniel Wood's a guy that is a highly touted prospect out of England, who's a nasty combination striker, very fast hands, but he's not a grappler. And he's going to give Johnny Eduardo a chance to work his, one trick, and that's his striking. So we're going to see a good old-fashioned striking battle here. And Eduardo's the head striking coach at Nova União. Very sharp, precise striker himself. And Nathaniel Wood's very technical, throws nice jabs. Very solid low leg kick, both inside and outside. Nice hooks inside the pocket with both hands. And has one-punch KO power. He's very tight and technical with his hooks. Landed a nasty one-punch left hook knockout in his last fight. He walks forward, puts heavy pressure on you, going head body, throwing nice combinations, just breaking you down. Very fast, straight right hand. He had a war against Josh Reed in an amazing first round. He was rocked on multiple occasions, showed massive heart, was able to shell up, survive, and then turn the tides, found his moment, landed a nice hook, was able to knock Reed down, then finish him. And he has his hands high, uses tight defense, but he does like to get in wars, and due to that he can be clipped and rocked. He has 4 knockouts in a row, so definitely is going to have a ton of momentum coming into this fight. And Johnny Eduardo is coming off a loss by TKO in round 1. He was taken down, pounded out. Like I said, he's been pro since 1996, and he's 39 years old, so you have to wonder how much he has left. But this is possibly a good stylistic matchup for him. He's extremely composed and calm in a stand-up fight, uses good movement, great head movement, get inside, land a straight right or right hook. He has one-punch KO power with that right hook, showed that against Eddie Wineland, and showed that against Manny Gambirian as well. Super accurate with it, devastating low leg kicks. I think Wood will want to try to make it an ugly fight early, get it in the clinch, make Eduardo work, get him a little bit tired before he starts just exchanging punches with him. 7 of Eduardo's losses are by submission, and he lost by TKO in his last fight, but he was just kind of getting stuck in a position. So he's never been TKO'd in his feet in MMA. He's 3-3 outside of Brazil in his career, so hasn't had that much success outside of Brazil. And this is going to also be Nathaniel Wood's first fight out of England. So I have to see what happens with that. But Eduardo will sit down on that right hook and angle off. He's really right hand heavy. He doesn't throw many strikes besides the right hook, straight, and a leg kick. He doesn't move his head on the kicks at times, can get countered off of him. Does a decent job of clinching if you get him against the cage, circling back to the center and disengaging. He's usually the faster guy in the fight in terms of hand speed, and I actually think that he's not going to be in this fight against Nathaniel Wood. And this is going to be his first fight in nearly a year, And I actually think he's finally going to take a KO loss on the feet. He was getting hit with the right hand against Manny Gambirian. And I feel that Wood hits harder and he's much faster and more technical than Gambirian. I think Wood will find that one shot that puts Eduardo out. And I'm going to say he knocks him out in round 1. I'm going to go with Nathaniel Wood in that one. Even though Johnny Eduardo is a great striker, I just think it's the end of the road for him. It's the end of the road for a lot of those Nova and Uniao guys as well. They're all kind of starting to be, dinosaurs in this game. So up next we have another fight between arguably another dinosaur and Jessica Aguilar against Jodie Esquibel. And, initially when I was before I did the tape, I was thinking that I was going to go with Jessica Aguilar here. But after doing the tape, I kind of think that Jodie Esquibel is going to win. But this should be a fun fight. Jessica Aguilar is a high-octane fighter. No problem getting in a brawl. She starts very fast, gets right in your face. She likes to use a lot of fakes and feints. But doesn't have great defense, doesn't have great reflexes anymore. Doesn't move her head. She's very stiff. And especially in her punching combinations are very stiff. Just a lot of nervous energy in my opinion. But, she has nice low leg kicks. That's probably her best technique on the feet. She'll go to the body with her punches, then back up to the head. But she's very slow with her hand speed. And she can get pot shotted, get out volumed. She has a good chin, a great heart. She's never going to quit. She takes shots to give her own. She had a decent fight against Claudia Gadelha, where she did her best work in round 3. She took a ton of damage. She was able to, come back and really put it on Gadelha a little bit in that round 3, landed some nice leg kicks. Gadelha was very tired. She was able to take down Courtney Casey multiple times, but she couldn't establish top position. She was getting up kicked. She had very poor fight IQ there. She's fought a high-level competition. She's had some of the most, experienced and best careers in women's MMA, in my opinion, in the history of women's MMA. She's returning from a year layoff. She's been very inactive of late. She's very old, 36 years old now. And, she's very tough and durable. She's only been finished one time in her career, and that was her very first fight. She got finished by submission. But she's going to be fighting against Jodie Esquibel here, and Jodie Esquibel got thrown in the deep end. She lost her first UFC fight to Karolina Kowalkiewicz, who's arguably a top 5 fighter. But, she's been eyeing this matchup for a while with Jessica Aguilar. She volunteered to step up in March when Lavinia Souza pulled out against Aguilar and wanted the fight then, so now she's getting it. So definitely is confident in the matchup. And she's not a bad fighter. She's quick and athletic, has good range, control, darting in and out, good body head with punches, good lead left hand, will throw a nice jab, left hook. She has good fakes and feints, disguises her entries well. She'll throw hooks to the body, go back up to the head. She has a nice overhand right. She throws some leg kicks, front kicks to the body, but she's not a big kicker. She has good footwork, does a good job staying in the center, not getting backed against the cage. She looks powerful and compact. Looks like she's pretty hard to take down. She does a solid job catching kicks, dumping you. She doesn't go for much offensive wrestling herself. She won't quit even when she's in deep submissions. She was able to get out of a fully extended armbar against Deanna Bennett that looked pretty nasty. She's definitely going to be the faster, more explosive fighter in the cage. And Jessica Aguilar is a pioneer. She's a warrior. But I think her time's passed by. And I think Jodie Esquibel is going to be able to avoid the takedowns and really piece up Aguilar and win a striking battle. And, I'm not going to say I'm super confident in that one because Jodie Esquibel isn't the most, established fighter either. But I am pretty confident in that one. I think Jodie Esquibel gets that one done. But up next, Desmond Green against Gillespie Tebow. In a fight that I'm very confident in, one of my most confident picks of the night. Everyone knows what Tebow is at this point. This is going to be his 28th UFC fight. You can't get more experienced than Tebow. He's a southpaw, a bruising wrestler. He has power on the feet, but he's a bit slow and plodding. He throws solid left straights, left overhands. He's a powerful wrestler, good double leg entries. He'll attack with body locks. On top, he's very heavy, very good jiu-jitsu, Good job getting the mount, taking the back, getting a rear naked choke. Did that against Abel Trujillo. He has solid cardio for being so big, but he does slow down definitely in that third round. He got knocked out cold 5 months ago after returning from his USADA suspension, and he's been definitely getting rocked lately. He got hurt bad by Tony Ferguson, and he's been TKO'd 5 times. You have to wonder how much he has left. He's been fighting the UFC since 2006. And for Desmond Green, he's coming off back-to-back losses against 2 of the best wrestlers in the division. So definitely he's getting a good, had a good practice for this stylistic matchup. Definitely in his last fight, he fought, in my opinion, kind of a better version of Tebow, a bigger, better version in Michel Prazeres, and he got fucked in that fight. Michel Prazeres basically came in as a middleweight, and he was able to have some success in that fight, even in the grappling. He won the first round, got some takedowns, even got a takedown in the second round. But you could just tell the size difference on those guys. And, it was just a bad situation. And he arguably beat Rustam Khabilov. He's an All-American wrestler himself, very fast and athletic guy. Likes to use his range, stay on the outside, throw kicks, dart in with dangerous hooks. He does a nice job with his straight right hand, throws some solid counter overhands and uppercuts from odd angles. He's very fast, very good defensive wrestling. He's going to need to use that in this fight. If you do take him down, he's like a cat, man. He springs back up to his feet. Extremely hard to hold down. Great job getting double underhooks in the clinch. He'll dump you with a nice body lock takedown himself. Like I said, he was able to land some nice body lock takedowns against Prazeres, won the grappling exchanges, and won the first round against a guy who just beat Zach Cummings at 170. So definitely has some great wrestling. And he has a tendency to make fights close. He should throw some more volume, should really put it on guys more than he does. And he does get a bit tired in round 3. This is a good matchup for Green, though. He's going to be the much faster guy. I think he's going to be able to keep distance, pot shot Tebow from the outside. I think Tebow's coming back way too early from getting flatlined. He was KO'd viciously 5 months ago. And Green needs to make a statement here to get his career back on track. He's has the pleasure of having Michael Johnson and Abel Trujillo both in his camp, 2 guys that fought, Gleison Tebow. Tebow hasn't gotten a legitimate win in a long time, man. Even the victory against Abel Trujillo was a little bit of a quick stoppage, in my opinion, as well as the fact that Gleison Tebow ended up getting a DQ on that fight on his record because he failed for steroids. So his last real win was January 2015 against Norman Park. And when you see most of his wins, they're against guys similar to him, guys that a little bit slow in plotting or don't have the greatest striking, guys like Abel Trujillo, guys like Norman Park, Peter Hallman, Pat Healy, and Desmond Green's going to be someone that's going to be just a little too athletic, in my opinion, a little too good for Gleison Tebow at this point in his career. I actually say he's going to finish Tebow in round 1 TKO. I just don't know why Tebow is continuing to, fight. Especially, he's not very old. He could continue to fight. He's only 34. But, to come back only 5 months after getting flatlined, it's not like he just got TKO'd. He was completely out, unconscious. And I just think Desmond Green's in a great spot there. And up next, you have a fight between Belal Muhammad and Chancer and Country. And, another fight that I'm very confident in. I think Belal Muhammad's going to take care of business here. Chancer and Country is making his UFC debut, and Belal Muhammad's been surging lately. Chance is getting this fight on 2 weeks' notice. He looks like a decent wrestler with poor jiu-jitsu, so due to that, he prefers to strike. He has okay movement on the feet, but he stands very tall with his hands low. And when he strikes, he leaves his chin out. He has a fast straight right. He likes to try to stay long, just time one-punch shots. Doesn't throw many kicks. He has solid throws in the clinch. He has no problem stepping in the pocket, throwing bombs with you. He'll throw an uppercut as well. He doesn't have a lot of variety on the feet, and he's fallen in love with the striking a bit. He has good cardio, and he's never been finished. And for Belal Muhammad, he's won 3 in a row in the UFC. He's a very solid all-around fighter. He attacks with heavy inside and outside leg kicks early and often, and he'll change up the pace of his kick placement, going to the body and the head as well. He likes to get into boxing range, throw hard hooks, and he does possess solid power in both hands. And overall, he's a physical guy. He does a good job exploding into the clinch position, getting you against the cage, controlling the action with double underhooks, has good head positioning, throws elbows and knees in the clinch, and eventually works to get you to the ground. When he gets you down, he does a good job getting the back and keeping the back while looking for the rear naked choke. He has good cardio, and he had the biggest win of his career in his last fight against Tim Means. Belal's just too good for a chance. I think he's better on the feet, has better combination punching, better positional awareness, and think that he has better hand combinations and better MMA grappling. I think he's going to dominate this fight and get a second round TKO. Very confident in this one. I'm going to go with Belal Muhammad, and I think the odds are going to reflect that, though. I think he's going to be quite a sizable favorite in this fight. And, yeah, like I said, I think Belal Muhammad's going to get it done. And up next, a great fight between Nick Lentz and David Teymur. And this is going to be my most confident fight of the night, guys. I'm going with David Teymur. I think that he's going to get it done. This is a classic striker versus grappler fight. David Teymur is an elite kickboxer, while Lentz is a wrestler with good jiu-jitsu. Nick Lentz is a slick wrestler and jiu-jitsu artist. He's not that athletic on the feet. He's slow, doesn't throw in combination very much. He throws a lot of one-shot-and-done attacks. He does have some solid power. He can start to reach a chase on the feet, and it's a recipe to get knocked out by a guy like David Teymur. He's a grinder, good clinch takedowns. He's relentless with his takedown attempts. On top, he has good control. He'll win rounds with top position. Isn't super dangerous with his jiu-jitsu or his ground and pound from top position. He has a very nice guillotine. He's able to get it against Will Brooks, but he's very tricky off his back with jiu-jitsu. He'll attack with guillotines, triangles, leg locks. Good in scrambles. And for Lentz, I think Teymar's going to be much faster, much more athletic. It's just a tough stylistic matchup. And Teymar's also super explosive, very hard to take down. He dominated a wrestler who's, I think, is a very good prospect in his last fight against Jakar Close. Used a great game plan, frustrated Close en route to a decision victory. And David Teymur is a great striker. He throws hard leg kicks, hard body kicks. He's had a great start to his UFC career. 4 consecutive wins, 2 stoppage victories. He beat another prospect in Lando Venata, also Jakar Close, like I said. He starts slow, but as he gets his reads and tells, he starts to be more aggressive and more dynamic, throwing jumping kicks, spinning kicks. He likes to try to catch you coming in with straight left, and he has hard body kicks. Teymur can get clipped and hurt. He was dropped by Venata. Johnny Nunez on Tough rocked him. And Jason Novelli also rocked him. Jason Novelli was able to control him against the cage a little bit, but he caught him with a huge left, nice TKO against Novelli. He will come in and attack with hard left hand, right hand combinations. And he is a finisher. When he hurts you, he'll go for the kill. He has great recoverability. He knows how to fight in a war. Shows some good grappling ability as well. All those guys at the All-Stars Training Center are definitely getting better at grappling. Good double leg takedown, good takedown defense, really good get-up game. Has the ability to sprawl. Also, great job attacking the body in the clinch. Devastating knees. Great cardio. He just wears you down by denying the takedown attempts, landing his own strikes. He'll never get goaded into a war. He's always going to have his own game plan, and he's able to keep that pace. Very methodical for 3 rounds. He's taking this fight on short notice, but he did have a fight scheduled for UFC London that fell through last week, so it's definitely in shape. And he's going to be fighting with his brother on this card, Daniel Teymur. And I actually forgot about Daniel Teymur's matchup. I have to go back and do that right now. I'm going to do that right after this one. But I think Teymar's going to be, too hard for Lentz to get on the to get on the inside with. I don't think he's going to let him get on the inside. I think he's going to be able to land hard shots on Lentz while Lentz is trying to get on the inside. Just pepper him from the outside, and eventually I think he's going to get a 3rd round knockout. And like I said, I'm going to circle back here and go to the fight with Julio Arce against Daniel Teymur. And Daniel Teymur is going to be making his debut at 145 pounds. He's never fought at 145 pounds in his career. And, he debuted at 155 pounds. And he's definitely not as polished as his older brother. He's much more wild, relying on his speed and explosiveness. Very aggressive with solid power. Comes out looking for the finish from the start. Throws winging overhands. Has good accuracy and power on his overhand right. He has that in and out movement, and his entries are very quick and explosive. He pressures you, gets in the pocket, making you move backwards, and just sliding out of the way of your shots, coming back with his own. He can turn his punches in very short range, and so has big power with him. He has a very nice right uppercut, throw nice low leg kicks. He'll throw a spinning elbow, but goes to the well too much with that. He has good grappling, nice takedown defense. He can get wild and too wide with his punches and get clipped and countered. I have seen him hurt bad on the regional scene. He got, knocked down and was getting ground and pounded. The ref stopped the fight, and his brother, David, came in the cage, was yelling at the ref. Really some fugazi shit, if you ask me. They restarted the fight, and he was able to get the knockout, but he was very close to getting finished there. If the ref never jumped in, he probably would have been finished, and then I don't know how they had the audacity to restart the fight like that, but somehow they were able to get that done there. But he was also hurt against Daniel Henry. He took a beating in that fight, so you have to wonder about his chin. He can't go to the well too much with the same attacks, become predictable. He got very tired in his last fight, was very wild and ugly with his technique. And he's going to be moving down to 145 pounds for the first time in his career, like I said. But being only 5'5", it's where he should have been all along. He has great heart and no quit. And I think both Teymur brothers are savages, to be honest. Julio Arce is another slick striker out of Tiger Schulman. He's going to be training with Jim Rivera for this one. Very impressive UFC debut. Also had a very impressive win on Dana White Contender Series. And on the Contender Series, he fought someone new who's incredibly explosive with big power, goes for the KO in round 1. Very similar to Teymur, and he was able to handle him. He was able to weather the storm early, showed good composure, good smarts, then took over, man. He has great boxing. All those guys at Tiger Schulman have great combinations. He doesn't stay on center line. He'll land his combos, exit, return on a different angle. Throws fast, straight 1-2s. His jab is serious, man. Really nasty jab. Nice hooks with both hands. Great movement, slips and rips. He's relentless when he hurts you. He'll unload with long 8-10 punch combos to the head and to the body. Very accurate, good footwork and distance control. Nice front kick to the body. He has great cardio, and when he feels you're fading, he'll turn the pressure up. He gets and really goes hard for the finish. One thing I really like about him, he does a great job listening to his corner. Very receptive to what they say. He'll, after the first round, listen to what they say, go in the second round, execute the game plan perfectly. And this is a fight, in my opinion, where technique's going to prevail over power and explosiveness as time goes on, just like it always does. Arce will be careful early, avoid the storm, and I think he's going to start to pick Teymur apart in round 2. And he reminds me of another guy at a Tiger Schulman, man, Calvin Kattar. They're very similar, and Calvin Kattar was able to move up the ranks very quickly. Just had a loss to Renato Moicano, but Moicano's one of the best fighters in that division. And I think that Julio Arce is going to announce himself as well here. I think he's going to get a TKO round 2. And depending on the odds there, I'm fairly confident in that fight. And, think that Julio Arce has a very good chance to get the victory there. And up next, we have Sijara Eubanks against Lauren Murphy. And kind of a grudge match. They had beef on the Contender Series. Sijara Eubanks had a problem with Lauren Murphy always trying to take her spot due to her struggling with weight cuts. And, Eubanks failed to make it on the finals to make weight. So, Lauren Murphy did have a bit of a point in that. And that was her failing to make weight for a title fight. And she hasn't fought since. She's a huge girl for the division. So I have to wonder where she is with this whole weight cutting thing. But if she doesn't make weight for this fight, you have to think the UFC is going to cut her or something very bad. So she has to know that she has to make weight here. But she's a big, powerful girl for that division and definitely works to her advantage. She's a jiu-jitsu black belt. And her game plan in mostly every fight is to get in your face and eventually get you to the ground, look for the submission or ground and pound. And she's very raw on the feet, very slow and robotic with her movement. Just walks forward without moving her head or faking and feigning. She throws mainly just straight punches, could run at you with very open, very wide strikes. She has power. She'll sit down, throw power when she can get in range. Definitely has potential to become a good striker. She sometimes closes her eyes and just wing shots, which you don't like to see. She has very robotic kicks, but they're successful, man. She landed a nasty head kick KO on Tough. She has a good double leg, good timing on her entries. She could shoot from too far out at times, though, because she's uncomfortable with her striking. She's very heavy on top, throws hard, heavy elbows. She had a tough fight against Roxanne Modafferi, where Roxanne had success both in the striking and the grappling. Sijara was able to take the decision, but it was a very close fight that could have gone either way. Eubanks isn't a great striker, but she has power and she's explosive, and due to that helps her grappling as well. I think she could give girls problems if she polishes up her striking game a little bit, especially in this division. And for Lauren Murphy, she was a 135er in the UFC, and she already has one win in the 125 division against Barb Honchak. She is the veteran with a lot more experience. She's a bit old and weathered. She's also stiff with her movement on the feet, very slow. That being said, she's still the more technical fighter on the feet, better head movement, comes in on better angles. She'll pressure heavy, uses good feints to set up her punches. She's a good right hand, okay jab. Lands a nice left hook, right hook combo. She is a type of fighter that has to get hit, take some damage to slow you down before she starts to get inside and start mauling you, get her game going. She has a good power double. She'll get it to try to steal the round. She doesn't have the speed on the outside, in my opinion, though, to stop, or the striking power to stop Eubanks from getting inside and taking her down. And I think that Eubanks just going to be the bigger, fresher, hungrier fighter here. And I think Murphy will be taken down and controlled every round and probably lose a decision. But we do have to see Star Eubanks make weight. And if she doesn't, I really wouldn't be surprised if the UFC let her go. But I'm going to go with Sijara Eubanks here in a fight that I'm not extremely confident in, but I think Sijara Eubanks just has a pretty distinct advantage with the grappling. So just due to that, I'm going to go Sijara. And up next, we have I don't know why they're doing this to us, but a fight between John Vellante and Sam Alvey. This might be the fight where you want to go take a piss break. You might want to go take a walk. You might want to go get something to eat because, I don't know, man. I have absolutely no interest in this fight. Sam Alvey versus John Vellante is a fight against two of the most frustrating fighters in the UFC. Sam Alvey is what he is at this point in his career, low output counter striker, solely looking to land that hard right hook and knock you out. Doesn't throw in combination, very rarely will throw elite left hand or kicks. He walks forward, tries to stay in your face. He does have that one punch KO power, and that's what makes him dangerous, makes him a name. He was able to get that KO in his light heavyweight debut. Going to be looking to bring that momentum into this fight. He is a guy who was fighting all the time. He was, I think he fought 9 times in 1 year, tied the record for the UFC. And he said that now he wants to slow it down, really try to make a run and, take fights that move him forward, have camps. So maybe that could help him up the volume, get some new skills. But I think Alvey's never going to change, man. He has good cardio, great takedown defense, good chin, and that knockout power. And that's Sam Alvey for you. And for John Vellante, he's going to be coming off a decision win against one of the worst fighters in the UFC, Francimar Barroso. And he was unable to finish him, even though he was clearly dominating. Vellante is one of the most frustrating fighters to watch because he's clearly a pretty great athlete with good technique, but his fight IQ is terrible and his cardio is terrible and definitely doesn't take the fight game seriously. He hits hard and has one punch KO power. With that, he has heavy hard leg kicks. He has decent sharp boxing, can land combinations while chopping with hard low kicks. Very nice jab. But in other fights, he could just slowly walk forward, take shots, load up with one punch shots to try to get the KO. And, if he lands his jab, lands his leg kicks, just moves, lands his shots, he'll win this fight with ease. But Vellante will not do that, man. He's a meathead. I think he's going to go into bang. I think he's going to load up on his shots eventually, get tired like he always does. always does, doesn't move his head. And, I think Sam Alvey has another chance to get another knockout in this one. And I'm going to say he catches Vellante with that right hook in round 2 and gets the knockout. Because John Vellante doesn't have the greatest chin either. Was getting wobbled all over by Shogun, and I just don't think he has the greatest chin. So I'm going to go with Sam Alvey. I think that he's going to be able to catch Vellante, knock him out. But Vellante, that's definitely Vellante's fight to win if he comes in with any sort of good game plan. And up next, you have Jake Ellenberger against Ben Saunders. And another fight, man, where I don't know. I don't think these two guys should be fighting. Both these guys have been knocked out 2 times in a row. And with the last one just being really brutal. Ellenberger took a savage elbow from Mike Perry, man. He was out for several minutes. And Alan Jouban put a sustained beating on Ben Saunders before he KO'd him. And Ellenberger's taken a year off to recover, while Saunders is jumping back just after 3 months off. So definitely something to look into. Ellenberger definitely took the more appropriate precautions. And Ellenberger's always been the more explosive, powerful guy, the better athlete. He's going to have the speed advantage, but he's going to have to get inside on the 7-inch reach advantage of Saunders. Ellenberger is the better wrestler, but I don't think he's going to want to take down Saunders. Saunders has that nasty rubber guard, and he doesn't want to get in a clinch with him either, in my opinion, because Saunders has that nice tie clinch. He's going to want to finesse Ben Saunders down the outside and move until he finds an opening, then come forward with his aggressive style, land a hard shot, knock him out. He has a nasty overhand right with 1-punch knockout power on it. He can land nice right hand, left hook combos. He changes stances and can work well from both. He has nice leg kicks, nasty body kick. His chin is very questionable, and he's 1-4 in his last 5 fights. He's been TKO'd, KO'd 5 times. And for Ben Saunders, he's been finishing back-to-back fights, and he's really been taking a beating lately. His chin is gone, but he hasn't changed his reckless style. Leads to him getting KO'd. He throws a lot of nice kicks from the outside. Tries to stay active, kicking you in the arms. If you have your guard up, he can get caught in a clinch with short punches because he leaves too much space trying to throw knees and elbows. I just think that he's going to come in trying to throw a unset up kick, get caught with an overhand right, and get knocked out, man. I just don't think Ben Saunders has the chin anymore. But he does have the heart. I think that his fight starts to go long. I think that if he can catch Jake Ellenberger with one of those kicks early, make him tentative, he could eventually win this fight. But 3 months off after a brutal knockout, I'm going to go with Jake Ellenberger here. I'm going to say that he's able to get it done. And but I just don't have very much faith in either guy. I just don't think either guy really should be fighting anymore, like I said. But up next we have Walt Harris against Daniel Spitz. And, a fight that I think that Walt Harris should win pretty comfortably, but you never know with a guy like Walt Harris. Daniel Spitz is a long, athletic heavyweight. He has an 82-inch reach, uses a lot of movement for such a big guy. Light on his feet, likes to throw fast punches that aren't full power. Stick and move. Has a solid jab, throws 1-2, start to put more power on if he can get you trapped against the cage. He throws a lot of kicks. He'll throw body kicks. Has a decent high kick as well. He likes the tie plum clinch. Will try to land knees to the head from that position. He mainly wants to strike, but he will shoot for single legs and try to get some time on top. He isn't overly devastating with his ground and pound. Really just likes to stay in the guard. He got very tired very quickly against Mark Godbeer and was barely able to throw a jab while doing a lot of running, not engaging. If he gets tired like that against Walt Harris, he'll get knocked out. He had a 25-second TKO against Anthony Hamilton in his last fight. It seemed like a bit of an early stoppage. And, who doesn't KO Anthony Hamilton? He can get countered with overhands off of his jab. And if someone gets inside, I think he stands tall with his hands low. And they can land heavy shots on his chin. He isn't the fastest heavyweight with his hand speed. Harris should have a speed advantage in this fight and most of his fights. Walt Harris is a former college basketball player and has great athleticism. He's fast and powerful with most of his wins. He finishes them with brutal knockouts. He has a nice jab and straight left. He sits down trying to get the knockout, especially early. He'll throw a nice lead hook as well. He spars with Deontay Wilder, so he has to have a chin, man. Has to have been hit with some big shots. And he's shown it. He get clipped early at times. He has a nice body kick. He'll go to the head, and they're very fluid and fast for a heavyweight. He has a solid double leg in his last fight against Mark Godbeer. He was able to get the double leg, get great ground and pound. Throw heavy elbows. Does good damage on the ground with solid control. KO'd Cyril Asker with ground and pound elbows. Landed a hard head kick against Mark Godbeer after a nut shot and got DQ'd. But I just think he's a better athlete here, and he's been going for it more in the first round too to get the knockout. I think he's going to be able to get inside on Spitz, land some bombs, and finish him off with ground and pound in round 1. And I'm going to go with Walt Harris here. And like I said, I think that's his fight to lose. He should get it done. But with big heavyweights like that, you never know. And Walt Harris isn't really necessarily the most, guy you can count on. He's 10-7 in his career. And up next, you have Gregor Gillespie against Vince Pichel. And, this is a very interesting fight. I saw the line for this fight. This fight and Marlon's fight are the only two with the lines. And I do think Gregor Gillespie is the rightful favorite, but I think the line's a little bit out of control. I think that Vince is definitely a live dog here, and this is one of the best fights on the card. Gregor Gillespie is a beast wrestler. He's 11-0, been finishing dudes in the UFC, NCAA national champion wrestler. Great jab, very fast hands with big power on his right hand. He likes to get started right away, get in your face, get to work. Very relentless pressure, keeps a pace most guys just can't handle, and he drowns them. Great single and double leg shots. He'll chain his takedown attempts very well until he gets you to the mat. Some people have been able to stuff his takedowns early, but usually whenever he lands the first one, the ones after that start to come easier and easier. He has incredible control on top, seamlessly transitions to mount. He has amazing top control in the mount. He'll rain down punches until you're out or give your back. He chokes you out. He can hit a lot on the feet. He doesn't have the greatest defense. He's a bit reckless. Doesn't move his head. Enters on straight lines. And this is going to be the most well-rounded guy he's ever fought. And the first guy with truly one-punch knockout power. Pichel's a big guy as well. I think that he's definitely going to be working on his takedown defense. He needs to get Gillespie's respect early. Hit him with a hard shot. Gillespie hasn't really been hit with a shot that made him tentative to close the distance. He was dropped or rocked really bad against Jason Gonzalez, but he wasn't scared, and he had a big wrestling advantage in that fight and was able to start taking him down. That wrestling's always in his insurance policy, and for Vince Pichel, he's a wild dude, man. He has one-punch KO power. He needs to just show no respect to Pichel, or no respect to Gillespie, and, in my opinion, just try to either use that great movement he did against Damian Brown, catch him moving backwards with a one-punch knockout, or just get right in his face from the jump and just try to knock him out. And he does a good job of using good footwork, resetting, coming back on new angles, not just standing right in front of you. Good leg kicks, throws sneaky high kicks. He goes for takedowns at the end of the round, but I doubt he's going to be doing any wrestling in this matchup. He can chase at times. Doesn't do the greatest job of cutting off the cage. This is a fun fight and good matchup. Like I said, I think Pichel is a live dog, has a chance to spoil the Gregor Gillespie hype train. Gregor Gillespie comes in on straight lines and doesn't move his head. And if he does want to strike with Pichel could find that knockout man. But Gillespie is faster and just has such a massive grappling advantage. He should be able to get takedowns, just be the quicker, better athlete, control the engagements, and I think Gillespie will eventually get the takedown, eventually start to wear on Pichel, and as the fight goes on, I think he's going to find the finish in round 3 with the rear naked choke. And I'm going to go with Gregor Gillespie. And up next, now we have the main event, a fight that I've been looking forward to all year long, or since it's been announced, basically all year long. And, that's Jimmy Rivera against Marlon Moraes. Both these guys have beefs, two of the best, bantamweights in the world, and we're going to see them throw down now. And, Jimmy Rivera is short and compact. He's powerful for the division. He's a boxer, wrestler. Doesn't use his wrestling much in the UFC, but uses it when he needs to. He doesn't attempt any takedowns against Pedro Munoz or Uriah Faber. Against Alcantara, he only attempted one takedown late in round 1. He kind of prefers the boxing combination in the pocket and Has hard, powerful hooks, straight punches. He has great timing on his straight left to right hook combination. He'll throw quick punches in the pocket, good uppercut as well. He likes to counter-strike more than go first. He'll stand right in front of you waiting for you to throw shots, then try to move and counter off of your shots. He gets wild when he hurts you sometimes and wild in the pocket. He has gotten dropped quite a few times in the UFC. He throws some solid body kicks, leg kicks, and really hurt Faber's leg with kicks. His propensity to stand right in front of guys could get him in trouble in this fight. If you get clipped by Marlon Moraes, there's a pretty good chance you're going to be waking up with a flashlight in your face, man. Marlon Moraes, you saw what he did to Aljamain Sterling, but Rivera did use grappling in round 3 against Thomas Almeida because he was losing the stand-up, and had some success, but wasn't able to hold Almeida down. Rivera gets hits with overhands and straight left punches at times. He got dropped by Yuri Alcantara, got dropped by Pedro Munoz, and Thomas Almeida dropped him. He is a good gas tank, recovers quickly from being dropped, but Marlon Moraes is a massive bantamweight, well-rounded skills. He trains with Edgar and Barbosa, and he's kind of a bit of a blend of both of them, man. He has great hips, along with offensive wrestling, great leg kicks, probably the best leg kicker in the division, very tricky body kick. He likes to, slip your strike and just throw that body kick right in your ribs, man. Nasty knee in his last fight that knocked out Aljamain Sterling. Has a very nice fakes and feints, good side-to-side movement, extremely fast. I think he's going to be the faster, more athletic guy in this matchup. He has a nice combination with his hands, very nice jab, nice combos off his jab. Very good chin, he can recover quickly. Showed that against Usasal. Does a good job of coming back with strikes right after you touch him, and he gets opponents gun shy to engage with him. Did a good job of that against John Dodson. He's going to be the quicker, better athlete, and I think he's the more dynamic fighter in here with a better chance to get a finish. And Moraes has much more experience in 5-round fights. He fought many fights in World Series of Fighting in 5 rounds, but don't think cardio will be an issue for either guy. I don't think Rivera's going to be able to take Marlon Moraes down. If he does, I think Marlon's going to be able to pop back up. I think Marlon's extremely athletic, extremely explosive, and I think Moraes is too fast. I think he's going to use his range and kicking game to keep Rivera at bay. And I think Rivera has a questionable chin, man. He's been dropped multiple times. He is a dog, man. It's hard to pick against him. He's won 13 fights in a row since losing to Dennis Bermudez on Tough. And but I'm going to go with Marlon Moraes by 3rd round knockout. This is a grudge match between these guys. They've been talking a lot of shit. Marlon Moraes seems like he's super motivated. So does Jimmy Rivera. But I'm going to go with Marlon Moraes. And for my most confident pick of the night, guys, I'm going to go with David Teymur to defeat Nick Lentz. And for the parlay of the week, I'm going to go with David Teymur and Desmond Green to win. I think another parlay you could do as well could be either David Teymur or Desmond Green parlayed with Belal Muhammad or parlayed with Julio Arce. I feel like Nathaniel Wood is a solid pick depending on the odds. If the odds are a little bit crazy, maybe look at the prop for KO. That could be a good shot there. I think, if you want to do the inside the distance for Ellenberger against Ben Saunders, I think that's, incredibly likely. I think Walt Harris by KO TKO is a very likely scenario. Potentially Sam Alvey by TKO TKO or TKO KO could be a good line there for you guys as well. As well as Vince Pichel by TKO KO could be a good line. And, hopefully we can keep it going. I want to try to get to 350 subscribers off of this video. So if you guys can hopefully make that happen, anyone listening that hasn't clicked that red button, go ahead and click it now. And, let's just keep it rolling, man. Let's see if we can get 5 in a row for the most confident pick in the parlay of the week. And, I don't plan on stopping anytime soon. I'm going to keep giving you guys these great picks. And hopefully you guys keep rocking with me. So we'll see you guys next week for Whitaker against Romero.